Hey guys, welcome back to What If Anime. Today we're gonna be doing a new What If series called What If Asta Was Born with His Swords. So, for this to happen, I'm just gonna explain what happens before. And just so you guys know, I haven't been posting lately because I have some important exams for school in 2 weeks and I've been working. Not a lot, but still working. So, with that out of the way, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, basically, the day Yuno and Asta were dropped in front of the church, the priest opened the door and he found Yuno and Asta just lying there. So, he took them in and everything happened as usual, except that Asta, still being a baby, is not crying. He's he's just screaming, but not like crying like actual babies, but he's screaming like an adult is screaming. And suddenly the 5-leaf clover grimoire just appears, and Asta, he just naturally takes it and then stops screaming. So the priest asks himself, how can he have a grimoire at his age? That's impossible. I don't understand a thing that's happening. So he goes to see the mage, the old mage we see that gives the grimoire in the original timeline, and he tells them that the 5-leaf clover is very special because there are legends about it, but he doesn't really know. So we'll just see later. Yuno is kind of jealous when they grow up of Asta because Asta has a grimoire since forever and Yuno doesn't have one yet, which makes him kind of angry, so he trains and he's even stronger. Now, I feel like he would be like Yuno would be very strong and he would be the rival of Asta and around the same strength as Asta, at least as they were kids. But Asta was told that he had no magic, but he had a grimoire. So when he opened the grimoire, there's a giant sword that appears, way too big for him to even touch, and he basically can't even get it out of the grimoire. It's too heavy. So as a kid, he's gonna train like crazy to use the sword, and by the time he's 15, he would completely, he would be very strong. Now, how strong is I'm gonna tell you. He's able to summon his first and second sword, which is already great. He can use black like um almost for like he can basically use it at will, and the charging time is basically non-existent. I mean, it's very fast and it's almost instantaneous, which is, well, great. Asta is, well, strong. He's very strong, but the thing is, he has no magic. So it's the only problem to his powers. Now, Yuno is super powerful too. He's almost as strong as Asta in his normal form with the first sword, which means that Yuno and Asta are have a big gap in favor of Asta. But it's gonna change, when they get the grimoire. So that day does happen, and like usual, Asta doesn't get anything since he already had one. Yuno gets the 4-leaf clover grimoire, and everyone looks at him like crazy. And then he says in front of everyone that he's gonna become the wizard mage, the with the Wizard King, and that he will surpass his brother Asta. And everyone's going like, wait, so the four-leaf clover chosen one is weaker than like a guy with no magic? That makes no sense. But they didn't question it at the time. They thought, with the grimoire he would be stronger. They weren't sure. So like usual, when gets attacked by the nobles, he even he deals with them even faster. And when the chain mage from the the chain mage, when he attacks them, he basically takes care of him, alone. He doesn't need Asta's help. Now for the next couple of months, they have 6 months before they try to become a wizard, um mage knights. So Asta goes as usual to train in the forest, except that this time he meets Hanzo, I think his name is, the guy with red hair. Well, and he's gonna teach him proper, uh, sword fighting, which Asta is very good at. But now that he has, an actual trainer, he becomes even stronger. And during that these 6 months, Asta is training crazy because he knows that now that has a grimoire, he might catch up to him, which he doesn't want. Asta does keep his original personality, except that he's less annoying and loud and kind of smarter. But outside of that, he's basically the same person. So, the day they go to the exam, it's even faster since all they have to do is fly to there. Now, if you're wondering how are they gonna fly, well, learned how to fly, with his grimoire, and Asta can fly in Asta Black, and like I said earlier, he can keep it for almost the whole day, which now he decided to do, and he just went, and they went to the capital in a day instead of a week, which means that they had some time left there, and they used it to, visit around, and they said to each other, I'm gonna become a wizard king and all of that. Now, when the exam starts, Asta is kind of smarter, so for the exams such as flying, he just goes in black mode, which surprises everyone. They don't understand. They don't feel even a bit of mana, and it's still very strong. So, and and they don't understand a thing that happens. He passes all of the tests with flying colors, and around equally matched with And at the battle part, um, Sake won't decide to attack him since he saw how powerful he was. So it's gonna be a no. The noble is gonna fight a noble. I don't really care which one. Like a very strong noble is gonna become a. He's gonna try to fight Asta. And he's gonna say that a peasant like him won't be able to defeat him. So when the fight starts, Asta just takes the small sword and knocks him out in less than a second. The fight was over. Now, when it was time to start to choose, to vote, that part, well, got all the hands, picked up, and he decided to go, as usual, to the Golden Dawn. Now, um, Asta is is turn, and nobody raises their hand, And then Yami's like, he puts his hand up and he's like, "You're powerful," and he says, "You're powerful, but nobody wants to have a mage knight who uses a very unique ability that we don't even know what it is, and it's weird. I'm the only one who knows how powerful you are because of my key sensing, and I know that you're basically a monster. You're a beast, and you're probably one of the strongest wizard mages, knights that I've ever met. You can probably take on one of us, and that's not exaggerating." And the other captains were shocked to what Yami said, and they decided, so some other, you know, groups of knights decided to, raise their hands. They all did except for the Golden Dawn, since he only takes a reincarnated elves. The Silva only take, you know, um, royal family, um, and the Vermilion one with the lion, actually says that if that if he will become a wizard king before Asta, and Asta smiles and says, "No, me first." And then starts talking, "No, I'll be it first before the two of you," and then start arguing, kind of like that. And Asta chooses the Black Bulls because he saw that Yami um, can sense the kind of power he has, and maybe um, since he's the first one to put up his hand, he'll just go with him, even though he knows that it's the worst, but he doesn't really care. So he joins the Black Bulls. Now you might say, why he could go to a better one. Well, we don't really know what happens to the other ones, plot wise. So I don't want to completely make the story up. So okay, no, that's the reason. The second reason is, for the story, it makes more sense that a guy with a very super powerful, with a strange power and no magic, will actually you know go and fit somewhere else. So that's also why I put him here. Sorry for the background noise. There's drunk guys down there, so sorry. Anyways, back to the story. Yeah, so I was saying that he went to the Black Bulls. Now, he actually, him and Finnar and Yummy and Gordon decide to go to the lookout of the Black Bulls. Now, when they arrive there, everything happens the same, except that um, when the baptism goes, Asta does the push-ups and all even faster. And when it's time to, send it back, Asta just takes out his small sword and sends the the sends it flying. Now, I also have to mention, I'm gonna stop soon. I just need to say one last thing. Um, the current abilities of Asta is to use his big anti-magic sword. He can use black mode for almost 24 hours straight, which means he can use it whenever he wants, as fast as he wants. He can use a smaller sword, and he can actually double wield them, in black mode to make him faster. And his best, power is he can absorb with his small sword. Now, I'm gonna be leaving it here, and peace out.